Hey everybody, Jamba speaking. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to be doing a watercolor portrait. We're going to be using some nice watercolor paper. You can see it's got some texture to it. I'm going to be using some Winsor Newton watercolors. I just have this pocket pack. You can see I keep it pretty messy. And we're also going to be using some Princeton Art and Brush Company watercolor brushes. I don't really know a whole lot about brands, but I think these are pretty cheap and they definitely do the job. So check them out if you want to. So I started out just by doing a light sketch of my subject, who happens to be a rather small human. He could, let's just put it this way, he could probably fit into a very small box, if that gives you an idea of his size. So we start just with a light sketch. I'm using a 2H pencil, I think, and I'm just putting in basic features, so the shape of the head, and then the nose. I'll put in the mouth and probably where the eyes should go. I'm not going to really put down details. I just want to know where I should put down my paint when I get started with watercolor. I like to take my time on this step because I need, proportions have got to be correct, especially on something like a portrait where, it's a human face. So if something is disproportionate or out of place, it's going to be really obvious. So I just like to take my time and make sure that everything's looking good before I put down the watercolor. And so here I'm just putting down pretty light skin tone. You always want to go from your lightest colors to your darkest when you're painting with watercolor. And here I go painting away. What's up with you? I'm doing pretty good. I just went on spring break a little while ago. First of all, let's elephant in the room. I know I said I was gonna post like every 2 weeks. I'm gonna apologize this time, and I'm just gonna say I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be posting every 2 weeks. I thought I could, and I haven't, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm not gonna promise it anymore like I did in my last 2 videos, and then I failed to keep that promise. So rather than break your hearts again, I'm just gonna say it. My videos are just gonna come out when they come out, and if you watch them, great. If you don't, you're dead to me. With something like portraits, I usually keep the eyes and the mouth and the nose areas. I usually wait to do those, and it can look a little creepy when everything is there except for those things. So I apologize for that, but just wait. I promise that this person had eyes and eyebrows and nostrils. But again, like I said, I like to put down the lighter tones and the shadows before I put down some really dark pigment. around those areas. It's been a hot minute since I did a realistic watercolor like this. I think I went a little too light on the overall shadows. I didn't. My darks should have been a little bit darker on the face. It can be a little bit scary because with watercolor, you know, if you mess up, I mean, there's not much recovery. I do like to keep a Kleenex on hand, and that way if I put down some paint and it's not in the right space, I can take the Kleenex, kind of roll up one corner of it into a point, and then I can try and soak up some of the water and some of the pigment off the paper before it fully soaks in. And that's kind of a way to help save your painting in some places. If you know, make a huge stroke across the page in a really dark color, there's no coming back from that. But if you just make a little mistake, sometimes you can just dab it right off. You can just dab on them and just get out of there. Also, when you put your pigment down, it looks darker than what it will actually dry to be. So sometimes I would put down pigment and I would go like, oh shoot, that's way too dark, and then it would dry and I'd be like, well, no, that's not dark enough. So it's just kind of hard to tell when you get it just right. And I think I could have had a little bit more contrast in the values on the face, but you know, I'm still happy with the way it turned out. This baby has a bit of a concerned look on his face, and I don't know why. It's a pretty classic look that he has. He's just concerned about all of us in a good way. He just wants us all to be happy. He just wants to make sure everybody's having a good time. Anyway. So I was putting in the final details, putting in little strands of hair, making sure I was adding enough color to the face. What can happen sometimes is I just use a black pigment to add shadows, but you really need more like a brownish to add shadows, because when you just add black, you're losing a lot of color in the face. And so I went back over some places and added a little bit of red here, a little bit of brown there, just to make sure it looked a little more realistic. That about did it for this Goobermeister. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, no pressure. Feel free to just head on over to that subscribe button and just go ahead and give your mouse a little click. Ain't cost nothing. Just some free content from your friendly friend Jombus. Alright guys, peace out. I'm done.